Hello and welcome to Stennard. This is Nick Barron from Breaker Press Games, and I am here with this illustrious group of people in order to play The Precipice of Corruption. Yeah, real quick before we get into the adventure, I want to say, one, thank you for watching. Two, if you do not like body horror or gross things, be warned that this adventure does have those things in it. So that's something that should be noted. Otherwise, everything is as PG or as PG as Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So think of it in those terms. Yeah. I'd like to go around and introduce or have everybody introduce themselves. Ash, would you like to say something about yourself?
No, we're doing alphabetical. Okay. I'm Ash Parker. I'm a YouTuber, author, and dad. That's it.
Very good. Malev?
Hey, I am Malev. I go by Malev the Shinobi when I'm making music, and I'm a miniature painter. Work full-time painting miniatures for private clients, and I paint a lot of miniatures for Black Site Studios and Metal King Studios. And I also like to watch Ash's channel a lot.
Very good. Aaron?
Hi, Aaron. I'm a game designer up here in the Pacific Northwest. Longtime fan of Breaker Press Games, and yeah, looking forward to having Nick murder me.
That's what I'm here to do. Not really. Jay.
Hey everybody, I'm Jay. Wow, I'm not doing anything in the industry. I'm Ash's part-time sidekick and Nick's part-time sidekick, I guess. So. Howdy.
Yeah, don't forget about your blog, Worlds in Conflict.
I have a blog. I type on that occasionally. Worlds in Conflict.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's miniatures, sometimes it's product reviews.
Yeah, indeed. And Asia.
Hi, I'm Asia Como, coming to you from Washington State, and I'm a software engineer and a barbershop singer. Find me in Highlight Quartet and Acapella Joy Chorus.
Fantastic. So that is our crew today. And as I said, we are going to be playing The Precipice of Corruption. Yeah, I'm just going to launch straight into it and we're going to get rolling. Stennard lay in the wooded foothills of a massive, impenetrable mountain chain. As far as any of the regional layfolk are concerned, they live on the edge of the world, and all manner of horrors spawn in the shadow of the mountains beyond. There was a time when the people of Stennard may have traveled further west, closer to the rising rock face. The roads that once were have long since been taken back by nature, and nothing more than deer tracks remain. The growing season in this region has seen a glut of torrential rains that have damaged and spoiled the crops. The outlier town has few trading partners, and the neighboring towns are suffering the same fate. The townsfolk need to do something to ensure their citizens have enough in their stores to survive the coming winter. A small band of Stennard's most prolific hunters and gatherers agreed to press into the forbidden lands to the west, and they did not return. Desperate, a call went out to all of the neighboring towns. Come to Stennard. We are offering a reward to find our missing sons and daughters. And so word has gone out to all of the neighboring towns. Sorry, I looked at the chat. Oh, before we go in, something that I wanted to throw in here is that anybody, if you want to see luck thrown at any of our players, throw bits or subscribe, and we can assign luck. I'll keep a tally of any luck that is assigned. In addition, for every 3 people that throw luck that our way, I'm going to increase the chances of a wandering monster. So you can give the players a boost, but there will be consequences. So that being said, we go to Elena. Can you show figure 2? All right. So this is the town of Stennard. And we go to a scene. We'll go to a figure 3, and we go to a great meeting, a big meeting that is happening at the great hall in Stennard. Wood fire, murmurs, and misery. The atmosphere in the room is somber, yet expectant. You stand in the middle of a great hall, or at least as great as this hamlet can muster. You are surrounded by every miscreant, would-be mercenary, and aspiring cutpurse within 2 days' journey. You stand side by side with the lazy sons and daughters of the stoic farmers and the remaining craftspeople of the region. They have been pushed out of their homes to help their families, and they're of their own selfish intention. You stand in this outlying township on the edge of what passes for civilization, and it is struggling to survive. A voice calls everyone's attention. Constable Clarissa Hems speaks forcefully and clearly so that all can hear. A torrential spring and summer has caused our crops to rot in the ground. The harvest is upon us, but our townspeople are working long hours for a yield that will not sustain this village through the winter. I anticipated this and pressed our huntsfolk to pull more game. However, our well-worn hunting tracks through the forest have become overused. With few valuable goods to trade with the East, I suggested the hunting parties push west, led by my son, Tucker and Hems. The crowd begins to murmur again, and people shift uncomfortably on their feet. The constable continues. I sent them into the foothills that have been the domain of the dark gods. We have long seen the foothills as a forbidden land. We've treated it with fear and superstition, but my son and I believed this fear was without cause. I sent my son and our best hunters out west, and they have not returned. I am paying each person 10 coppers to push as far west as you can in a single day. I want you to search for my son and his party. Bring back any evidence you can of the whereabouts. All who wish to participate will set out at daybreak. So, 10 coppers is more than a week's worth of pay in this region. And so there is some considerable excitement, but there is also some anger and frustration because there are quite a few people in this town that are not the big fans of the Hems family. So all of you are standing in this great hall, and the hall is filled with, 40 people. What would you like to do? Would any of you like to look for rumors? Do you want to talk to people? What is on your minds?
My characters are impressed that 10 copper is being offered up. That's for sure. That's a lot.
It is.
Well, as the seventh son of a seventh son, Zerg Ironpicker is excited for money. He's been working in the mines for quite some time, and the flooding, of course, from the same weather that's got the crops rotten has put him out of work. So 10 copper sounds like it's going to get him through the winter. I think he's interested in talking to the family a little bit and finding out more about the where and how the son went missing.
Okay. Who would you like to approach? Clarissa Hems?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So yeah, you see all the people in the town are all packed into this tight little hall, and everybody's moving around. And Clarissa Hems, she's got some guards, and she nods as she sees you approaching. What would you like to say?
Milady, thanks so much for taking a moment to speak to me. When precisely did your son leave? What time of day?
They left 3 days ago, and they left in the morning, and they have not returned. And we set a time that they should be back within a day, or we would send for help. And so 2 days ago, we put out the call that brought all of you here.
Were they provisioned to eat and sleep outdoors and live rough during that time, or are they going without food?
They were sent with what we have, which was some rations of shriveled turnips and the like. They were provisioned, and they are our best hunters, and they are our best gatherers. So they should be okay in that regard. I am just worried that we sent them west and something terrible has befallen them.
Well, That sounds like 3 days head start, and the West, of course, is lawless, and the time of day is growing short. So I'll take my leave.
Very good. I look forward to seeing you in the morning. Jay, what about you?
Yeah. So N's log splitter will step forward. She'll raise her axe up in the air and say, "You sent out a summons. We didn't come here to make light talk with these folk." She'll look around at everybody. "You're surrounded by cowards. Those who would help us find these people, meet us by the campfire in the morning." And she'll just turn and walk and not wait for a response from anybody.
So with that, there are some cheers and then some grumbles.
One of the grumbles is definitely Akerin, as he like snootily watches this man kind of stomp up. He's like, "Oh, I don't know what this one is talking about, but I do have questions. I've performed all over this land. I cannot say I've had any venues to the west specifically. Do you have any idea what could have, or what's out there that could have possibly caused your best hunters to not come home?"
Is this a general addressing, or was that specifically to Clarissa Hems?
I mean, it's generally kind of like out there, but it's definitely to Clarissa, who seems to be has the most information. But this is definitely not just on a one-on-one, but kind of bombastic.
Well, you hear somebody blurt out. Somebody blurts out, "I wouldn't eat anything they bring back from the Western Hills. The old magic lingering in that place creates abominations, and morning mists cause madness." And they kind of cackle into their drink and wander off. But as for Clarissa Hems, she looks at you and she says, "We believe the old superstitions to be false, but we just with the famine coming upon us, and we just don't know." And she's starting to get kind of emotional. Asia, what about you?
As a berry farmer, I, Keneal Berry Plucker, am intimately familiar with the toll that a famine takes. I've survived them before. I don't know if I could survive it again, so I am very tempted to join in this journey because I don't see what choice I have.
That's fair. That is fair. And as you are thinking these thoughts, you are overhearing somebody else blurts out. "Our light acolyte, Lestaru, has been disappearing for days at a time and weeks at a time. No one seems concerned about him." And they look very like kind of annoyed and frustrated with the tone that everything is taking, because everything's about Tucker and Hems. Malev, what about you?
As Larib, a charming Dreg, the beggar, the prospect seems really lucrative, because as a beggar, don't really get anything. But I creep up to the missus and say, "I am not very capable of battling, and I don't possess many things, lady, but the hunters allow me to be around their campfires, and I've grown intimate and know many of them by name and face. And I may be of use to those who would go searching, because I can recognize them."
Very, very good. So she at first recoils from you, but then has to lean in order to be able to hear your soft words. And everything that you said, like you notice that she has like hovering on the periphery of her talking. You see a couple of like different little kids kind of like monitoring the crowd, and she looks over at one of the little kids, and the little kid looks back after your little speech and gives a nod. And so she looks at you and says, I am familiar with you in this town. That sounds like a good idea. And so she gives a nod, and one of the guards actually like slips you a shriveled radish and puts it in your bowl and then steps back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Is there anything else that anybody would like to do before we go to the morning?
I wanted to get more information of that aside that somebody said about someone else disappearing.
About
Staru? Lastaru.
Yes.
Yeah, I will approach the speaker and say, tell me more about this intermittently missing person.
Lastaru's the light acolyte's son, and the light priestess, she has been absent since her blindness, and so her son was monitoring the temple of Delvir, and he just keeps leaving, and there's nobody tending to the light priestess, there's nobody tending to the temple, but something is clearly afoot. There's something afoot here, and they seem really serious, but then they change their tone, and they're like, I think he's gotten himself into something, and I don't know what it is, but I'm very concerned for him.
Do you think he's possibly venturing west?
I don't know. I just know that he's missing right now. What was that?
I'm not with the party. I'm not in the conversation. I shouldn't ask him.
Very good. So you see that people are now starting to clear out. Some of them are heading over across the way to the common fire, and some are still just lingering around. And a lot of people are, because of the sadness and fear, there's a lot of people getting really tanked.
Well, Ruggles Keensnout, the detection dog, his ears perked up at the outburst from the mysterious man screaming about murder fogs and strange noises in the west, who seemed to disappear after that outburst. Is there any way Ruggles could follow him? Could I sniff out a trail and see if he left the meeting and went anywhere?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So roll a d20 for me. Tell me what you get.
Am I adding any stats?
Intelligence.
Nothing. So 12.
Okay. Yeah. So you sniff around on the ground and you pick up his scent, and you only have to follow it a short way because he is sitting at the common fire, which is across from the great hall, and he is sitting there with at least a half dozen other people sitting on stumps and whatever they could pull up to use as a seat, and yeah, he's just like hanging out over there.
Is he still speaking or grumbling about anything in particular?
Well, let's see.
I gave him my best wide-eyed begging look.
So, yeah, you hear him grumbling, but you don't hear the key words such as treat, pets, walk.
Goodest.
You don't hear any of those keywords.
Yes. Does he smell like West? Or murder fog? Do I find anything about him alarming?
This particular person, you don't notice anything that triggers anything. You feel pretty good about it.
All right, I wander off after Vanix coin carrier, who is meandering out the door after the axe lady or axe person.
Okay, very good. Does anybody else have any other questions for anybody?
The temple. where the lady that needs taking care of, is that like in town? Is that within like walking distance?
Sorry, I made the mistake of looking at the chat. What was the last part of what you said?
Well, Acheron, kind of overheard this whole light acolyte, Lestaru. He's supposed to be watching a temple. He's meandering, gosh knows where, but he's leaving someone behind who's supposed to be tending this temple that this Lascaro like operates. Is that like in town? Can I like meander over there?
Yeah.
If I do so, because it made it sound like that there was someone blind that the Lascaru was supposed to be taken care of. Can I walk into the temple and see if they're around, or is anyone there?
Yeah, it's actually a short walk from the Great Hall. It'll take you about 10 minutes. Are you walking by yourself?
Well, I'm definitely well, probably Boulder, favorite stick in Maw, might be meandering after me only because Acheron, probably smells relatively nicer than most people here, and maybe Boulder thinks he could get some treats or something from him.
Very good. That seems reasonable. Unless Acheron performed today, then they might not smell better. But
it's fair enough. Pearls before swine. These rebels don't deserve my art.
Very good. So you go over to the Light Temple, and for some place called the Light Temple, there is dramatically very few lights lit. It is almost in complete darkness. There is just like at the shrine, there's a couple of candles guttering, and there is no evidence that anybody is maintaining the place. You like open with the door with a large creak, you see the guttering candles, and there's nothing going on there.
Yeah, kind of peeking inside and kind of seeing that, Acheron kind of take a moment and say, excuse me, Lascaru. I don't suppose there's a Lascaru here in the premises.
And you just hear your voice echoing, is there a Lascaru? There's a Lascaru through the place, and it's just kind of like reverberating off of the wood. Nothing. Crickets.
Is there like the equivalent of like if I go up to where the sputtering candles are, or maybe like the pulpit or altar, or is there any kind of like investigation I could do just to see if there's like, hey, I get a sense that, hey, there's such dust here. It's been like X amount of time before someone's been here, or maybe this.
Give me a D20.
Okay. And does Acheron need to add anything to this, or straight D20?
By intelligence for me.
Okay. That's a roll of 16. Now, unfortunately, Acheron is not very intelligent. So 14.
14, yeah. You look around and you get the sense that nobody has been here for days. These were very tall candles, and you see that there's like a ton of other candles that have all already guttered out. And so these were just like the central candles in like a big display. And yeah, it doesn't look like anybody has been here for days.
Interesting. And what? And I apologize. The light acolyte. Is there a particular god that this temple like is
Elvir?
Elvir,
which is the god of light.
Awesome. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, kind of. I guess after assessing the situation, kind of poking around like that, Acheron would be kind of, I guess, yeah, this all tracks with what we're hearing. Odd, and probably meander back at that point.
Okay. Very good. And so, yeah, you see people have now pretty much, as you get back, have filed out of the Great Hall largely. There's still some chatter and people drinking at the common fire. Was there anything else that anybody else wanted to pursue before we go to morning? Nope. All right. Nope. So, in the morning, everyone gathers at sunrise outside the Great Hall There is a lot of grumbling, yawning, and cursing amongst the ranks of the folks surrounding you. Someone is passing out heavy hunks of stale bread and large shriveled radishes as rations for the journey. A full third of the people who were present at the evening before are now absent, probably too drunk or fearful to join the search party. After waiting for some time to see if anyone else would show up, Constable Clarissa Hems calls everyone's attention again. You're going to head west on the road out of town. Where the road veers north is a deer trail that leads due west. Tuckeran's hunting party had intended to follow that path. There you will spread out and push through the brush for as long as you can so that you can make it back here by nightfall. Luck and safety to you all. Please return with our kin and you will earn 10 coppers each. You're disgruntled and disheveled. Oh, does anybody have any new questions or any requests before you head west? Nothing? All right.
It's packed up.
All right. 10 copper.
Sorry. Was going to ask, Dallas would probably ask, we have these dogs. If we're looking for, do we have any smell something? Maybe get a scent from one of the people that you have us rattling off searching for? So Clarissa nods and flags over a 14-year-old boy, and they go running as fast as they can from the Great Hall down to where the Hems residence is, and they come running back 10 minutes later, and they have a piece of Tuckeran's clothing, and so they present it to the dogs.
Vanix pushes Ruggles to the front as he has a detection dog, and he takes a big old whiff.
Oh, very good. Very good. Smart thinking. And so you get a good whiff. Roll me a D20.
Adding
intelligence.
I got a 16.
Okay. Yes. The dog feels emboldened and is excited. This is what they are here to do. And so yeah. Do you launch into action?
The immediate sort of like locking on of the smell, Ruggles begins to sniff around the road out of town to see if he can pick up a further scent.
Oh yes. Yes. And so you pick up a scent almost instantaneously.
Happy barks.
And you start heading west. And your disgruntled and disheveled mob walk the road west for almost an hour before reaching the deer trail. As requested by the constable, two amongst you direct the search party to spread out, and you all begin pressing through the wood and brush. Going is slow. Only those on the track can consistently move freely, but still the group keeps moving, eager to find the missing huntsfolk and earn their 10 coppers. The slog through the damp brush is slow but uneventful. The landscape changes progressively from hour to hour. The deciduous trees become more gnarled and then visually corrupted. Unlike any trees you've seen surrounding Stennard, brush and tall grass begins to grow intertwined with ugly briars and poison ivy. The scattered game flushed out of the brush is dark, sinister, and startling. It becomes apparent why no one travels this far west. It is a grim and foreboding landscape. After 3 hours, the trail opens up into a clearing. And so you look across the clearing and you see something very alarming. And that's because it looks like this.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun. Tree skull.
So you have reached, flipping the pages, you approach a covered bridge across a stream near the end of a dreary autumnal day. The bridge ahead inclines upward toward a higher bank on the other side. The sides of the bridge appear to be made of stone and the roof of wood. The east-facing entrance forms a mouth of a twisted, inhuman creature. It even appears deliberately built with the west wind in mind, creating the image of wet, decaying leaves vomiting forth onto the track in front of it. What do you do?
Ruggles slows his roll a little bit, advancing towards the bridge and doesn't just dive in.
Zerese ink blotter immediately begins to try and draw it, sketch it down.
Say that again, Malev?
I said Zerese ink blotter immediately tries to draw and sketch it.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Ailes Crowgrinder would like to use his forestry skills to look for tracks.
Okay, give me a D20 and modified by intelligence.
Faux show. Modified by intelligence, that would make it a 1.
All right, perfect.
Fabulous.
You tell me, what do you think that he sees?
I think he sees one set of tracks. He is positive they're Tucker and Helms tracks, and they must go straight across the bridge.
Okay, very good. So you hear that declaration. Asia, what about you?
Oh, Garou the Mouth, the outlaw, is slinking around the periphery and trying to assess if there's some less obvious path to the mouth other than the obvious, which is bound to be a trap.
Okay, very good. So you approach the stream, and the stream bank descends 10 feet or more to gently moving water that smells heavy of rot and decay. Its dark coloration makes it impossible to determine the depth from high up on the bank. Leaves cover mossy rocks, and everything is damp and slick. So from there, you also look at the bridge, and you see that it is possible. You could possibly climb down to the water below, or you could possibly climb up onto the bridge. These are all options available to you. But looking down the stream in either direction, you do not see any other crossing points.
Vanex Coin Carrier is a former exciser from outside the region. He might be aware of toll collection points or other taxation areas in the region. Does this bridge jog his memory at all as to the locations of certain tolls and tithes that might have been charged? Could there be brigands inside or local gentry?
He has never traveled this far west. He has traveled to the westernmost encampment of Hillwood Camp, which is a day's journey to the north, and knows that they cross the stream further up. But that is more than a day of travel in order to basically get there and then cross and then get back.
This bridge is largely unknown then. Well, then Vanex, of course, not knowing anything about it, he gestures to Ruggles to continue his advance cautiously, and then spotting Zerg Ironpicker's lantern, asks if he would light it to shine it inside to see if they can get a look at what's within the gaping maw.
Okay. Before we proceed with that, Malev, what about you?
I was going to say LaRube Charming Dreg was only thinking that the bridge would make a poor spot to chill and beg from.
And no. Aaron?
Akron is just taking this in, and might even like see someone scouting for footprints, see someone skulking around, maybe even notice the drawing. So be like, is anyone from around? Is this normal? Is it normal out here in this country to just build ominous skull bridges?
Ain Raining Blows responds, he's the blacksmith, and he says, no, I don't think that's normal.
Well, very comforting.
Very Neil good. Berry Plucker chimes in. As a berry farmer, I know a suspicious bunch of plants when I see them, and yeah, something here is not right.
It's a skull, Ain Raining Blows says.
I do believe you're correct.
So Ash, the character with the lantern approaches.
Zerg Ironpicker?
Yes, Zerg Ironpicker. And the
lantern
bridge
in hand, pick in the other.
All right, very good. The bridge tunnel stretches upward for approximately 30 feet and has no windows on the sides. The tiny amount of light that is entering the tunnel creates an unsettling path to the other side. The accumulated leaves create an uneven surface that plays tricks on the eye when the wind blows, like a moving tongue resides in the stone mouth. When a strong breeze rises, the mouth even softly moans.
Well, that's disconcerting. Who wants to go first? Zerg says.
So Enz will push her way past all the rest of these cowards. Axe at the ready. Say, follow me, cowards.
And Raining Blows is going to follow up.
Zerg will be
spurred into
3
action.
steps behind you, muttering something about canaries and coal mines.
Very good. So, Ends. Really quick, before you enter, I'd like you to roll me a d20.
Yep.
And also Zerg and Malev, who was your character that was going in?
Ain Raining Blows, the blacksmith.
Raining Blows, yes.
Raining Blows.
Give me a d20 and tell me what you got.
We use an intelligence.
This time you're going to use personality.
Oh, dang.
16.
Okay.
19.
Okay. And Zerg?
11.
11. All right. So you confidently, like, even though this is a terrifying situation, you confidently stride into the bridge. And then you feel the bridge floor is slick and covered in debris. With each step, you feel twigs break and the larger branches challenge your balance. With each gust outside, a moan rises inside the corridor and the damp timbers above creak. Before you, the leaves scatter and shift. Do you continue?
So if Enz is still in the lead, sorry, I know how to speak. And it's all like wood and like light forestry debris, he will fall back on her background as a woodcutter and just start hewing everything out of the way.
Okay, very good. And so is the two of you still keeping pace?
Zerg keeps pace and holds up his lantern to help the woodcutter see.
Okay.
I have a hammer, so I mean, yeah, Raining Blows. He's going to hit. He's just going to hit it with the hammer.
Okay.
He's going to start hitting stuff too.
And Asia and Aaron, are you sending anybody to follow up, or are you going to hang back?
Akron would be not getting too separated, but probably not eagerly going in. But Dallas might be bone saw in hand, kind of slugging forward. It's like, I know when there's amputation work a brewing, and I aims to be there when it happens.
Guru the mouth is following just outside of the reach of the lantern to pick up any pieces.
Very good.
Vandus would actually Vandus would like to stop right at the edge of the bridge, ponder for a moment, and then say out loud, "We just arrived at the very precipice of corruption," and then turn into wherever the camera is.
Very good. Very good. So you get about halfway across the bridge when your swinging axe hits something that isn't a branch, and it isn't a pile of leaves. Instead, midway across the bridge, laying on their back in the leaves, is a groaning, coughing man. When you approach with the lantern, he will struggle to speak, or he struggles to speak. Eyes horrifically wide. He will sputter out the words. He sputters out the words, "Help, Nolitz." And he is sitting there and just like trying to like get out more words. And he looks taken by madness. What would you like to do?
Enz will, as quickly as possible, check him over and see if he has any visible wounds she can try and patch up.
Okay. Anybody else going to step into this situation.
Ain Raining Blows is going to position himself cautiously with the hammer raised in case he does something really crazy, like try to bite someone, or he's just going to stand sort of above his head while
Zerg
he's being
is
addressed.
going to raise the lantern and peer further down the tunnel to see if there's anything taking advantage of this distraction.
Okay. So he looks absolutely frantic. He starts shaking and sputtering, and then he says, "No, lads!" and "No!" And something, you see movement in his throat, and something comes out.
Okay, can now Ain Raining Blows begin to lower his hammer? Yes, rain blows.
Rain blows. Lower the hammer.
Just do what it says on the tin.
Yes.
So out of Zerg, Raining Blows, and
he's raining a blow on that.
And
no thank you.
Ends. Who out of the three of you has the lowest luck?
I have 10.
10?
6 is less than 10.
That is true.
Significantly.
Oh yeah, there's the image. Hey, there we go. 6 is less than 10. And so ends this giant, I don't like the size of like several rolls of socks, sausage, grub creature.
Very specific.
A sausage grub creature.
That's a very.
I'm Raining Blows.
Raining Blows on the pupas.
Hey.
That's exactly how I described it in the adventure. No, it's not.
I did not want to be invited to this pupa party.
So. Oh, that's not a D20. Ends. Does a 4 hit you?
No, I'm good.
Very good. And so this giant sausage thing lands on the ground. If each of you could give me an initiative.
Which ones am I rolling for that?
12.
Agility?
It's D20 plus your initiative modifier, which should be your agility.
Yep.
I got 21.
Okay.
I got 7.
Okay.
I was Raining Blows really slowly.
I got 12. It's a heavy
But
hammer.
it's a consistent rain. It's a consistent rain.
Very good. So, Jay, with your big 21 ends, you seeing all of this happening in real time, channel those lightning reflexes. And what do you do?
Ends would like to turn the giant sock sausage creature into 2 smaller sock sausage creatures. Axe.
All right, very good. Give me a D20.
I'm going to axe it a question. That is an 11.
Would you like to burn some luck?
Well, geez, when I've already got 6, yeah, I might as well spend some luck on it. I guess let's go with 2. Let's make it a 13.
Okay. Yep. You successfully bring the axe down upon the
sock goblin.
Sock sausage.
Sausage.
All right. I would like to do 8 points of damage to the sock sausage.
And you definitely turn it into 2 separate sausages.
Now there's 2 of them.
Yes.
Does that appear to bother it? Is that a problem for the sausage, or is it not nonplussed by the whole endeavor?
It has been terminated. But
great.
You do see 2 more rustling in the wet leaves. So the next on my list is Zerg. Zerg, what are you going to do?
Well, Zerg was keeping an eye out for possible sausage invasion, and will swing his pick at it.
Okay.
Am I using my strength for this?
Yeah, you're going to modify by strength.
Wicked. I got a 7.
7. Would you like to burn a lot of luck?
I don't think 10 is enough. So no,
Oh.
not just yet.
Okay, very good. And so then we go to Malev.
Okay, Ain raining blows. So the other sock sausages, that which creep, are those coming out of somebody, or they
No,
just
they're not coming out of somebody. They're just coming out of the damp leaves.
Okay.
But for a more articulate description, they are segmented sausage-sized grubs. They have pale, fleshy tones. Their skin is moist and glossy. And they have protrusions that are flexible folding spines that add in locomotion. So they have these like black spines that come out of them that they use to leap out of things like people's mouths.
I'm making it worse.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna sort of take a defensive stance. I don't want to. They're not like charging at me, are they? Are they within smashing range at my current position?
This bridge is only 10 feet wide, and there's 3 of you surrounding this body essentially. So they are within launching range, you think.
Okay. So I just would like to take a defensive sort of posture, not move at all from the party's position, and get ready to swing.
Okay.
If one jumps at me, I will attempt to intercept it out of the air.
You see, let's see. So one looks like it's about to spring towards ends, and one of them is about to spring towards you.
So am I swinging on it then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm swinging on it. Modified by strength?
Yep.
Hi-ya. Oh, that's a nat 20.
All right.
Nice.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah, some blop right out the sky. I'll rain blows.
Roll for damage.
What am I rolling for the D4, right? Yes. Yep. 1d4 for the
modified
hammer.
By strength.
Modified by there's no modified strength.
Nick, I've got the crit charts too if you want to do that.
Cool. Oh yeah. I have them as well, but since you've got it open, that's great.
I did 4 damage, but if I critically hit, does something else happen?
Roll an additional D4, and Jay will tell you what you did.
I got a 1 on that second roll.
Opportunistic strike. Inflict +1d3 damage with this strike.
All right, so an additional D3.
I'm catching it out the air. It's juggling it.
Yeah.
You're raining blows.
It's just another one. Raining blows. juggling it in the corner.
All right. So yes, you bring the hammer down and you turn this grub into paste. As the third one launches towards ends and kind of like bounces off the wall and starts flopping around in the leaves next to ends. So we go back to the top ends.
Yeah, Ends doesn't want any of that. She's going to, once the thing lands on the deck beside her, she's going to chop it in half. Yeah, 17.
Okay, that's a hit.
And this time it's just going to be 3 points.
Okay. Once again, paste. And you don't see any more movement. You do see our friend that was speaking to you laying in the leaves, motionless.
Yeah.
Zerg is gonna kneel down and holding his lantern over him, begin to search his pockets and person for any.
I'm gonna look at his face.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, so Malev, when you look at his face, who's looking at the face?
That's me. Ash is investigating pockets and stuff.
Which of your characters?
Oh, Ain.
Which
Ain
is
raining blows.
Raining blows. Okay. So, and correct me, Ain raining blows was the apprentice to Altus Blackforge.
He was, but he
Okay.
could no longer feed me. So,
Okay.
I
So
decided
yeah,
to
so
come on this adventure.
you would potentially recognize this person.
Oh no.
And so you look and you see that this person is none other than Dallin's staff. Dallin's staff was one of the 5 members of the hunting party. And you see, as you're looking at him, one of the things that who was going through the pockets?
Ash was.
That was me.
Yeah. So you find a pendant that's a little shield, and it has a D and an S, which would confirm Ames thought that it is Dallin's staff.
It's Dallin's staff.
It's Dallin's staff, I say.
And
This
Dallin's,
pendant confirms it.
there's only one noble family in all of Stennard, and it is the Staff family, and this was their son.
Oh
Their
damn.
son got sausaged.
Well, there's about to be one less
Right
noble
out
family
his
in Stennard.
mouth.
It's like the bloodline ends here
Ooh, with a sausage.
with a hammering.
Additionally,
Oh, yeah.
additionally, Ash, you find a belt pouch with 8 copper pieces in it.
Yeah,
Damn, you could leave right now. Would you just
That's
take
kinda
that?
like
That's almost the entire
80%
thing.
paid.
Make it rain.
That's right.
So yeah, I see Aaron doing a little red rum thing.
Sorry. When there is room, since Dallas was kind of like a catching up at this point, can he take a look to see if there are like anything based upon his experience as a doctor or sawbones, like that would like lead him to believe, like, did this thing just crawl into his mouth? Was it something that was implanted? Were there any wounds or stuff on him that might kind of inform as to what the heck happened to this guy?
All right, give me a D20 and modify by intelligence.
Okay, that would be an 11.
Okay. So you can tell that Dallin's staff was stabbed multiple times with probably spears or javelins, something like that. There's multiple circular puncture wounds. And you can see that there is at some point something larger crawled into one of these wounds and just made it bigger and fed and made it bigger and fed and made it bigger and fed until it came out.
So, kind of looking at this, Dallas kind of scratching the scruff on his mouth, kind of like poking at it with the bone saw, kind of cleaving it, says, unless these worms are known to have some spears or edges, I think we got something a little bit nastier out there. By the way, did anyone get poked? Any holes? I might have to cut some limbs just to keep those worms from coming out of you.
I did not get poked.
I'm fairly unpunctured.
Fairly.
I mean, no more than normal, right?
Same number of holes you started with, basically.
Yeah.
That's very good. Very good. Asia, is there anything that you would like to investigate?
Garub, the mouth catches up and looks at the body on the floor, and did somebody take the coppers, or are they still here?
Zerg Eye Picker looks right at us and says, I don't know what you're talking about.
And if you were asking the question, were you doing it with signs?
I was investigating the body.
You
The
all
current copper
noticed
situation.
that Guru the Mouth doesn't speak a whole lot.
It's true.
Yes.
I unceremoniously pluck the pendant off of him and keep walking forward in the tunnel.
Zerg shrugs.
Very good. Is anybody else want to do anything in this?
Vanix gestures Ruggles forward as sort of taking in this scene
Mhm.
and the fact that we've found the son, and said, well, the rest of them must be nearby, and he's probably come from wherever they are. So he sort of scruffs the dog and puts him towards the corpse to see if he can pick up a new scent and follow the trail of where this guy came from.
Okay.
Maybe finding the rest of the party.
Very good. Roll a d20. And then Jay.
Yeah, I'll just wait.
Plus, what's that?
Intelligence.
And who is this?
The dog.
The dog? I got a 11.
Okay, cool. Very good. So yeah, you pick up a scent. And it goes further west. Jay.
West.
Yeah, so sorry, what I was going to say is Ains will just keep going. Like, she's got no interest in this now that there's nothing going on here. But now that there's no danger on the bridge, Ailes will assume that this guy must have had an axe or a bow or something else if they were out hunting, and he'll start looking around under the like the leaves and the debris, because obviously they didn't find anything on him, or one of them would be right now.
Okay. Roll a d20 and modify for intelligence for me.
For sure. Long story short, he wants the treasure. He just doesn't want to have to do any of the work to get it. 7's got to be a good roll.
You find a filthy branch, but it might make a good walking stick.
I don't want that filth.
At that moment, Lerub is going to catch up, the charming Dreg, with Zerise behind him, and he says, "You're not going to throw away that stick, are you?" And then he notices the body, and then he blurts out, "That's Dallin's staff. I recognize him."
It is Dallin's staff.
And Zerise wants to collect one of the little grubbies and put it in a pouch. So she's a sage, so she's kind of feeling like that might have some stuff going on for later.
Okay, very good. You can definitely do that.
One grubby added to inventory.
Love to see it. And quick question as well, Nick. Sorry.
Sure.
But I noticed that Boulder here is a draft dog that has a cart.
Mm-hmm.
So he's dragging a cart. So probably when Dallas is kind of done with his investigation, that good boy is probably going to bring that cart up and kind of nudge him a little bit and kind of like bark at the body. At which point Dallas would just shrug, and if everyone's done with it, would take the body and just like slug it on the cart.
Okay, very good. So yeah, you've got a dog with one body.
Is it like a little cart, like a dog-sized cart with the person just dragged it all over it, dragging still?
Apparently,
or it's
like a radio flyer you just trying to throw a line into.
Exactly.
Apparently, Boulder here has a cart which in notes says to help cart back injured hunters. So I'm gonna assume it's big enough for one of these guys.
Yeah, it's a literal corpse cart.
Yep. And how much does the dog weigh?
Under notes here after that parenthetical, it just says 91 pounds. Is that his weight? I assume.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a big dog.
Okay.
That seems more efficient, but I got to be honest, I'm disappointed that we don't have the visual of the radio flyer with body draped over it.
It's all I can think about now.
Like, although this is clearly better, I actually wish that was what we had. That'd be awesome.
That's the base of it. The rest of the cart's built over the radio flyer, kind of like a Calvin Hobbes sort of thing.
Because now I'm just picturing that dog from The Little Rascals pulling that cart. That'd be great.
With the one eye? Yeah, definitely.
All right. With that being said, are you going to continue out the other side of the bridge?
Yeah, Ains is already on her way, and once he didn't find anything, Ailes will be following her.
Zerg's following along with the lantern, morally supporting the clearing of the scrub.
Very good. Once on the other side of the bridge, you feel an unshakable foreboding. Your gaze passes from scattered thickets and dense briars to a small muddy clearing of trampled grass. There are deer paths leading north and south along the riverbank and also going further west. The tall grass around the intersection is matted, caked blood, and a broken spear speak volumes that there was a struggle here. So you're in a big clearing. There's a path going north, a path going south, and a path going further west. Beyond all of that, yeah, you see evidence of a clear struggle that took place.
Sorry, Nick, does the like you said, there was like dried blood. Is it just all kind of in the center, or does any of it trail off along any of these paths?
Yes. Give me a D20.
For sure. Is that going to be modified by intelligence?
Yep. That's
1.
my go-to.
1.
What'd you get, Jay?
1.
Well, yes.
That's my go-to.
Yes. You find all the evidence and none of the evidence. The detection dog isn't so much interested, like it sniffs at the blood, but it is spinning around. I can't remember if the detection dog is
Ruggles. It's me. It's Ruggles.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ruggles. Yes, Ruggles is spinning around by the northern path and seems to want to go that way.
Vanix draws his sword because obviously something dangerous has happened here, and keeps close to Ruggles towards the north exit.
All right. And would anybody else like to do anything in this intersection?
Akron was certainly kind of brandishing his dagger, kind of take a look at the scene, sees Ruggles, I believe, and would just like enunciate. Any idea whether he's taking us towards Tuckerin and that scent, or whatever you had him sniff at the bridge?
Yeah. Well, answer.
Vanix looks over and said, well, the dog smelled the man, and the man is what he's after. So the man came from this direction.
That's enough for me, as long as it's not whatever caused this.
No promises. Zerg Ironpicker, whose lantern is now extinguished, does a quick walk of the periphery, sort of poking at the brush on the edges to see if anything has been thrown or tossed or dove into the bushes to hide. Just a quick inspection of sort of the edge of everything to see if maybe someone fled the fight and is lurking around the periphery.
Very good. Give me a D20 and modified by intelligence.
A mighty 10. This dice apparently only has 10s on it.
Okay. So the things that you noticed, there's an abundance of tracks, and they clearly lead north following the deer path. And the tracks seem to be of several human-sized folks and one or more claw-toed inhuman creatures of unknown type. Broken briars indicate they moved north and did not try to hide their tracks.
Well, I guess we know where the rest of them went.
What's the plan?
Raining Blows is going to creep up behind and gesture to his other members, Zuris and Lurub, that they're going to head that direction, try and follow the trail of these. Is that near where the dog was going, or is it like somewhere far off?
Yeah. No, the northern track, there are 3 clear deer tracks, and the one that the dog was going towards is where the tracks are going the direction they are going in.
Right.
Should we bivouac the corpse? Because obviously we're going to get paid for finding her son. So I feel like we need to protect this corpse.
This isn't her son.
Maybe slightly. This isn't her son. Sorry. This is the noble.
Yeah. The staff family.
That's right. Yeah, the staff family, who is probably the most valuable corpse we're going to find. Just sort of putting things in perspective.
Especially with them 8 copper on it.
No one knows that. No one knows.
What knows 8 copper?
I don't know what you're talking about, Raining Blows. And then maybe we could send a scouting party ahead to see if there's anything to be found, and maybe a scouting party to the deer track a short distance to see if there's any evidence that anyone went down there as well.
All right,
I'm all about dividing the party. I'm told that works
go.
every time.
And N's and L's will both volunteer to scout ahead because they're both woodsy type people.
Okay.
Vanix and the dog obviously are on the trail, so they will also volunteer to join that group.
And yeah, Raining Blows will also go on that.
Is that
Zerg volunteers to wait with the body.
is that
Yeah,
the-
Van
Charming
Ness will
Dreb
stay.
will, and Zarius will.
So Asia and Aaron, do you have a character that one or more characters that's going to go in the scouting party?
So when we say scouting, we're going north. Is that the direction the party's going?
Yep.
Okay.
And in the chat, I just want to point out, it says, split the party. Your audience craves blood.
Always split the party. Always split the party.
So Aker and Dallas, having come here to earn coin, figured the quicker they could find these bodies and take them back to town, the quicker they could get paid and be done with this. So they would be happy to go north as well. Boulder, who's got the cart, he doesn't really know what the people are planning, but you see Boulder is bringing like, as people are moving to the north, Boulder's just like trotting along, dragging the wagon with him.
What does the vegetation look like around the deer trail? Like how tall and is it passable?
It is thorny briars, and it is like the idea of pressing into these brambles is like terrifying.
All right.
Now, a trained berry picker would be well used to thorny bushes. I'm just saying that there's a certain level of
This is your
familiarity
moment.
with- This feels like a calling, really. A sign from on high.
That is true. Well, Keneal doesn't feel like he has anything to hide, so he will follow along in the deer trail. Guru would have preferred to take the non-trail, but it looks like that just won't be very efficient. So they will both follow the path north.
Okay. So just to be clear, is anybody staying behind?
Oh,
I think
well,
if
it's the
I think
body
if
getting
dog cart's
carted.
gone,
Yeah.
The cart's gone. Zerg's standing around going like, okay.
I think we've just redefined
thought
who the
that
back
was
half of
gonna
the group
watch
is.
the body.
Zerg follows along, keeping an eye on brigands from behind.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So the northern deer track. The trail leading north starts out feeling recently used. The grass is matted along the trail, and the neighboring tangles of thorns are occasionally broken and oozing sap. From time to time, you cross old tracks that press into the briars, and more than once you are startled by movement off the trail as some malformed blackbirds rise from the brush. After about a 40-minute walk, the deer path opens up into a well-worn track, and the boot prints are clearer and more distinct. After walking 20 more minutes, another small clearing emerges. Tall, gnarled trees flank the trail. Dense, thorny briars at the base of the steep rock face blocks. Sorry about that. Dense, thorny briars at the base of the steep rock face blocks the path to the north. The rock face towers some 40 feet above you and stretches as far as the eye can see to the east and to the west. So your trail basically comes to a T that's stopped by a cliff. That's 40 feet tall.
Is it like it's time to climb type of cliff, or does it look as traversable with like switchbacks and stuff?
Well, the base of the cliff is lined in thorny bush. And so you would have to get through like a dense thing of brambles in order to get to the cliff to climb it. But there are deer tracks that go north and south. But you also have a large clearing, which seems kind of unusual.
Getting to this point, Akerin would kind of looking left and right, kind of point out like any sign where those footprints from those little clawed devils got to?
Give me a D20 and modify by intelligence.
That would be an 8.
An 8. Hang on. What am I doing? I'm trying to make a sad face, but I can't. Very good. So that being said, you're 8. The less traveled deer trails head east and west off the clearing, running parallel to the rock face. So you look up and down the 2 trails, and you can see that they keep going for what seems like as far as the eye can see to the east and to the west.
Well, I can't make hide no hair of it. I don't know where those footprints got to.
Does anybody else like to do anything?
Ruggles will sniff around the footprints, being a detection dog.
All right, give me a D20 and modify by intelligence.
Ruggles rolls an 11.
Ruggles. So Ruggles, you get to the base of the cliff, and you just sit down and face towards the cliff.
Oh no, this
Jay,
isn't a cliff.
What would you like to do?
Enz is going to step up behind and over the dog and start with the axe hacking her way through the brambles at the base of the cliff.
Okay. So
I'm assuming the bat cave is back there.
Okay. So as you are hammering your way through the through this brush, on the northern path, or excuse me, the eastern path and the western path, you hear movement. In fact, it starts off like slow movement, and then it goes into a full-on 4-legged sprint from both directions, east and west, coming up the path. And what's that?
Oh, no, go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, upon hearing the noises, Guru, the mouth is going to dive into the brambles on the southwest side of the clearing. Ooh.
I like the idea of diving into the brambles. That sounds fun.
Sounds more fun than whatever's coming down those trails.
Give me a D20, and I don't even know what to modify. Modify that by personality. That's a willpower thing.
That is a 9.
That is a 9. So yeah, so you dive in, and you feel pain, and you start to thrash around and get tangled up in the briars. Take 1 point of damage.
Charming Greg says, "Oh dear."
And so what you see ends. Let me see if I can get this into the shot. You see creatures that look something like that, coming running up and down the
beast
path.
Looks sick.
That's the worst boy. That's not the best boy.
And so I know that Enz and Ruggles are up front, so we will start with you, Enz and Ruggles, and give me an initiative roll, though it probably won't be necessary.
I got an 11.
Ruggles gets a 15.
Did Mark Flores just send us bits?
Sure did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark, who do you want to give luck to? So what was your roll, Malev?
I didn't.
Oh no,
I wasn't
sorry. Sorry, Jay and Ash.
Ruggles got a 15. Ruggles is on point.
Okay.
En's got an 11.
11. Okay, so Ruggles, you with your keen sense of smell and your fantastic hearing, pick up on these things immediately as they start charging towards you. What do you do?
Ruggles does not want to be friends with these dogs. These dogs do not look friendly. Ruggles is going to hide behind Vanix.
Okay.
Ruggles is 126 pounds, a coward.
Okay. Marcus Flores just gave you some bonus luck, just so you know.
Bonus luck.
Yeah.
That dog looks lucky.
Dog, I guess I'll take a big old bite of whatever this dog is.
Very good. Give me a D20 and modify by strength.
Well, that's a 0.
That's a 0. Would you like to
That
burn
dog
any
looks
luck?
lucky.
Does that let me re-roll this 0?
No.
Yeah, what
is-
You could just add to your number.
I mean, I could make it a 1. That's less. That's more than a 0. I don't know if that helps.
No, you've got your 1. Give me a D4.
This is my lucky dog leg. I got it on the dog. They said it's lucky.
I roll a 3.
3. Ruggles trying to get at one of these dogs ends up chipping a tooth and yipes. It actually tried to it lunged at one of these things and ended up biting into a rock on the ground, chipped a tooth, and is going to it's going to have a -2. Ruggles is going to have a -2 on their next attack roll. So
A dog teeth.
This is what happens when a coward. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That dog is unlucky.
somebody
I'm
says
your best friend.
play dead, Ruggles.
He's trying to play dead, then he was goaded into action by Vanix, the heartless coin carrier.
Xavion 85, where do you want your bits to go? Who do you want to give luck to? Let us know in the chat.
Maybe Ruggles can
Ends.
play dead method actor style.
Ends, what do you want to do?
Playing dead.
Sorry? Oh, sorry. Is that me, Nick?
Yeah.
Ends will yell, "For Hillwood!" And then she'll just rush forward and surely decapitate one of these things with a natural 20.
Surely.
Let's find out.
No question. You got this.
Seems possible.
9 is the other natural 20, the new natural 20.
You got a 20?
No. I love
You
that I'm
got-
cutting out at the best times for me. Oh, I
Less
got a
than
9.
half that.
I got a 9.
Very good. So your total was
9.
9. Yeah. Would you like to burn some luck?
Oh, let's go with 2 more.
Would
We'll
you
go to
like
an
to
11.
burn more luck?
Oh,
Question
go.
mark.
let's
That
go with
guy looks lucky.
4.
4?
Yep.
All right. So Ends. Yeah, you've yep. Saw that, Elena. You managed to hit, roll to wound.
Fantastic.
What a swing.
That would be 6 points.
6 points?
Yeah.
All right.
The violence.
Let's take a
Always
look.
choose violence.
Always choose violence.
And
All
you
right,
brave him? Look at
so-
that dog.
Yes, you do. Tell me about this swing.
So Enz has got the big woodcutter axe. So as the dog comes forward, obviously I'm going to assume Grandma is trapped inside. And when it jumps at me, I'll try and go down the belly to get Grandma out.
All right. Yeah,
Reference I don't
you
get.
split that belly wide open. And you have never seen dogs that looked so mangy and so corrupted. And even there, as the entrails spill out, you see black bile and malformed organs. Everything about this creature looks corrupted. So,
I'll just turn and look at Ruggles and say, "That's not what your insides look like, is it?"
so
Ruggles' insides are on its outside right now. 'Cause it's very scared.
all right. So the other one lunges and attacks. One will be Ends, 2 will be Ruggles, 2 will be Vanix, and 3 will be Ruggles. 1, it's Ends. So the other dog lunges at Ends and does a 9 hit.
No.
All right. We go back to the top. Now, before we go to the top, Asia, Aaron, and Malev, would you like to roll initiative and tell me who's going to join in the fray? You can hang back if you like. Also, Asia, you were given luck to your person stuck in
bramble roll.
in the
Did
bramble.
Vanix get to act yet in that initiative chain?
Oh, no, yeah, Vanix, you can go.
Okay, sorry. Vanix is just going to take a swing at the other dog.
Okay, cool.
His longsword. Vanix gets a 15.
Okay, that's a hit. Roll the
On
wound.
guard.
Longsword, D4 damage. I get
No, it's
4
D8.
damage.
Sorry, I typed that wrong.
Okay,
D8?
it's a D8 damage.
Hey.
I get 6 damage.
Plus
Plus my strength, I get 10 damage or 8 damage.
Yes. Describe the killing blow.
Vanix, of course, with a missing hand, is not very good at the double-handed chopping. So this is more of a skewering motion.
Okay.
Vanix managed to skewer the dog directly through its snapping maw, deep into its insides, and then flip it open, sort of the Thing style, splitting it down the middle.
All right. Each of you that participated in that combat, I totally forgot to do this before. Each of you that participated in that combat, you got 1 experience point. And everybody that participated in the combat with the grubs gets an experience point. Additionally, Asia, you get an experience point for your battle with the brambles.
Hey, there you go.
Ooh.
Mighty foe, worthy.
And it was Garu that jumped into the brambles.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. So one of the things that Berry Plucker notices deep into the brambles. It's just a little aside. You see some of the brightest, reddest raspberries you've ever seen.
Oh.
You can't easily get to them, but you just make note. Wow, those are some impressive looking raspberries. So that being said, let's go back to Ends for a second. Do you resume your slashing through the brush?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's wood cutting to be done. It's time to cut some wood.
All right. So while Ends is cutting wood, does anybody like to do anything else?
Can Dallas, it seemed like the pupper got injured. Can he go and take a look at the pupper's wounds?
Which pupper?
The one that got
Ruggles.
hurt? Sorry, Ruggles.
Got a chipped tooth.
Ah, yes. Yeah, you can take a look at Ruggles' tooth.
Yeah.
Ruggles
Yeah,
is appreciative of the attention.
yeah, he's Dallas isn't really a vet, but he's gonna just take a look at just kind of like get the scruff aside, like, oh, hold on there, boy, and just take a look to make sure there's nothing, no untowards damage.
Ruggles assumes Daleth is now his best friend.
I'm just glad you didn't attempt to amputate the lower jaw.
Well, that's what Dallas is going to look back at whoever the nearest character was. It's kind of associated. He doesn't know who the dog's master is. He's going to take a look. He's like, I don't know much for dogs, but I think we could save the head this time. But you're going to want to watch it this time, or else we're going to have to take that clean off.
Annex looks at Daleth and says, "Please don't touch my dog."
His head is fine.
Okay, Malev, I saw you raise a hand.
Zarisa has been hearing voices that are drawing her westward, and after all the commotion ends, she's going to walk up to the brambles, right before the precipice where the brambles kind of start, and she's going to raise her hand, and like in this sort of gesture, and she speaks the Eldritch tongue. So she's going to speak the Eldritch tongue for like open or clear the way or something of that nature, with the intention of maybe that the brambles are some sort of magically grown defensive structure or something like that.
Okay, very good. And so Do you push ends out of the way or just step behind ends while they're
swinging? I can see him. He's ahead of me.
Okay, cool. So roll a d20 and I want you to modify by intelligence.
21.
20. So did you get a natural? A natural
I got
20?
it. Oh no, I got an 18.
Okay, cool. All right, but your total is 21.
Yeah, it's a +3, 19, 20, 21.
Okay, so you all see, and mind you, magic users, wizards, sorcerers, witches are terrifying. The worst thing you can be in the region of Stennard, like the worst thing that you could be called is a witch or a sorcerer. And here is this person that steps up and they utter some sort of words. Gibberish is what it sounds to you. Channeling chaos. And you actually see the cliff behind start to glow. And you see the brambles literally start to rot on either side of Ends as Ends is swinging the axe. Ends, how do you react?
So yeah, Ends will step back, axe ready, but not sure where the axe is going at this point, as there's obviously witchcraft about. And when this happens, actually, Vandus will move closer to try and get a better look at what is going on.
Okay, very good. So you get a little closer, and you see the following. Oops, turn back page. Behind the briars is a carved impression of a stone entrance. It is flanked on either side by a low stone dais. Each dais is topped with a stone skull carved with an open mouth spilling gray stonework maggots. The false entrance is framed in ancient weathered stones with arcane symbols carved into their surface, but has no door pull, handle, or lock. The capstone is engraved with a simple skull, but looking upon it overwhelms you with feelings of revulsion, dread, and crushing self-doubt. The sense that it is imbued with evil magic is very real and impossible to shake. And so you look up at this skull and why don't I have it when I need it? Hang on.
What happened to the brambles? Says Charming Drag.
My berries, says the berry farmer.
Everyone's got to find their personal treasure.
Yes.
Mission accomplished for the berry farmer.
So you see a skull that looks something like this. My apologies for going off camera.
Ruggles does not like the look of that.
And it is glowing, and all of these symbols are glowing. And you see, let me see. That is the entrance thing that is in front of you. But as I said, it is stone. Two skull daises on either side, with open mouths, vomiting forth stonework maggots. And yeah.
Zerisa will pull out a drawing that she had drawn in a few weeks back, and it is like an exact sort of match of the stonework. Are there runes that one could read?
You recognize some of the symbols, but not all of the symbols. And even you, with your knowledge of the Eldritch, feel very uncomfortable with what lies ahead.
Ruggles sniffs around the arch. Does it smell like any of the smells of the missing people he's been following?
You give me a d20 and modify by intelligence.
An 8.
Okay. And before that, give me a d20 and modify by personality.
18.
18. So you confidently move forward and you sniff around, and this was the direction that you were facing in. It seems right, but now you're not sure. Also, axis of evil. Who do you want to give luck to? So that being said, Jay?
Yeah, so sorry, Nick, can you just clarify again? The horn skull image was exactly where? Like, I know where the skulls with the
capstone.
How high up is the capstone?
Good 10 feet.
Okay. So Ailes will walk up directly, I guess, in front and below it.
Give me a d20 and modify by personality.
Sure. That's a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he is going to say a quick prayer under his breath, hopefully so that no one else can hear.
Okay.
And then he'll just reach out and try to push through the stone wall.
Okay, very good. So you give a prayer and you push on the stone, and you're like, "Yep, it's stone."
Garou steps forward, and I'm hoping to use my 4-leafed clover capability to find some way to turn this rock into a functional door. So I will search for ways to open it.
Okay, so first thing, Garou, give me a d20 and modify personality.
Nat 20.
All right.
Nice.
So you confidently stride forward, and you look around, and give me another d20 and modify by your intelligence.
Nat 1.
And the pendulum swings.
Hot and cold, baby.
So the first person that interacted was going to get some luck. And so, but I am going to waive that because a 1 is not going to give you what you need. But what I will say is that you confidently look around, and even though you can't tell how to open this thing, you do feel intrigued by the stonework skulls spilling out stonework maggots. That seems to catch your eye.
I grunt confidently and point at those skulls with stone maggots.
Yeah. Acorn was kind of already kind of like drawn one to investigate one, but once kind of on the grunt, he will kind of double down, and he would like to take a look at like one of those daises with the maggots coming out of the mouth, see if there's anything that stands out about it.
Okay, very good. So give me a d20 and modify by intelligence.
Okay. Okay, so that is a 17.
17. So first you look at the frame and the daises. You notice that the right-hand skull has traces of dried blood on the lower teeth. And peering into the mouth of one of the skulls, it has an unnatural darkness of deep shadow despite the daylight surrounding you.
Acorn will point this out like to the group, just that there's blood, there's a hole. He turns to who was the one that was calling everyone
quite a
cowards?
dark hole.
That was Enz, the lady with the axe.
So he'll immediately turn, like kind of like flitting his dagger on his fingertips. I am but a lowly coward, but surely someone who's brave can show me how to maybe manipulate such a device.
Zerg is a miner and well used to entrances into caves,
Okay.
and so he steps forward to feel about and see if he can figure out this device.
Okay, real quick, Jake.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, so while Enz is getting called out, Vandus, who's been super quiet the whole time, will just step to one of the skulls and say, power always has a price, and just stick his hand in. All the way in.
All right. And so you stick your hand in, and there is excruciating pain that shoots through your body. And everybody sees your body jerk, and you pull out your hand, and there is some sort of energy that burned through your hand, and your hand drips blood onto the maggots below. Get 2 experience points.
Are you okay?
Do I take damage from that?
Yep, you're gonna take a point of damage, but you're also gonna get 2 experience points, and the carved rock face below the capstone shifts and changes form. Those closest to the false entrance can feel heat emanating from the wall of steam ahead. Within the fog, you see movement, massive spectral centipedes dart through the mist before you. So yeah, what would anyone like to do?
Charming Dreg is going to run away from that. And so will Zerees, but Ain Raining Blows is going to steal himself.
Okay, very good. So Aaron, what about you?
Spectral centipedes, is this like a swarm of like ethereal centipedes? Is this like some big...
You see them darting in and out of the mist, moving around.
Akron, no longer feeling that clever, has his dagger out, kind of looking at it. I will say Dallas, and I apologize for not remembering character names, whoever just got the injury on the hand, Dallas would kind of go in over there and just be like, you want a bandage, or should I just cut it off now?
That's Vandus. Vandus will actually just take his bloodied hand and just kind of wipe it off on his staff.
Makes it work better.
Very good. Very good. And so, in this moment, as you are all standing there, I want you to each roll. Anybody who hasn't rolled a d20 as they approached the entrance, I want you to give me a d20 and modify by personality. And if anybody gets less than a 5, let me know.
Akron got an 18, Dallas got a 12.
Okay.
Vax got a 0.
That's less than 5.
That's less than 5.
Straight up, like it's the beginning of Indiana Jones, turns and flees from the situation.
Vax is just gone. Douglas is like, what?
Keneal,
that dude feeds me.
Keneal Berry Plucker also got a 4.
Okay. The berry plucker has
My berries.
now fled. What was that?
Vax is going for help.
There's nothing here for me anymore.
There's no berries in there. I'm out of here.
Anybody else fail?
No, Raining Blows. Ready to rain blows.
Okay.
Vandus got a 16, and my other 2 characters had already made rolls.
Okay, very good. And so the entrance, at this moment, you see the centipedes, and they almost feel like they are literally like walking over the mist. You see them part, and a flood of creatures come running out towards all of you. And you see these creatures with impossibly wide eyes. They look like this.
Oh, yeah, it's Boglins.
They as you see them, they have rotting, stinking mouths with their teeth all jagged in every which way. Their eyelids have been brutally cut away in order to make their eyes look even wider. And they come rushing forward, javelins thrust forward, and they come at you. Give me a D20.
This initiative?
Yep.
All of us, I guess.
Yep.
Ooh, I got 19. Yeah, there's no.
I got a 17 for Ruggles and a 7 for Zerg.
19 for.
We'll just go
blows.
with your 17.
Okay. Ruggles is
What
on
was
point.
that, Malev?
I got a 19 for raining blows.
Okay. Jay?
I got 5. So if we're going like golf, I'm going first.
Asia?
I got, let's see here, for an 18 for Garu and a 4 for Trisid, Binding Stitcher.
Okay. And then finally, Aaron.
To be clear, the modifier for initiative is the init box. Is that right? Okay.
Correct.
Akarin got a 20. Dallas table is going to get 13.
Okay. Very good. And so I'm just going to go with your highest initiative, and all your characters will go in that order unless you decide you want to hold. So that being said, let's start with Aaron with your 20. You see 8 of these creatures come flying out of the entrance. What do you do?
8 of them. Okay. All right. Akarin it's not going to go like headlong into the maw of them, but I imagine this is kind of like a mass like fracas kind of rolling out. Mm-hmm. So what he would kind of like to do if he can is try to harass or harry like one of the flanks. So maybe like do kind of like a cartwheel, kind of like backwards, dagger in hand, and try to swing at one of the boglins on the side.
Okay, very good. And so give me a D20.
Okay, is this modified by anything, sir?
Strength.
Okie dokie. Okay, that is a 12.
A 12. And do me a quick favor. I want you to roll me a D3.
You got it. Okay, do the math. 1, 2. So it'd be a 2 and a D3.
Okay, cool. So you definitely are like spinning about and doing all sorts of flamboyant maneuvers in order to make your attack. And it seems to have had success. You have connected with one of these lidless creatures. Roll to wound.
Okay, so the dagger on a backswing will dig in and will deal 2 points of damage.
All right, so you see one of them, you swing and cut into them, and blackish blood comes spilling out of their shoulder, and it recoils, but cackles insanely and pushes forward back towards you. Did you have another character that did not run away?
Dallas was standing there too.
Okay, so, Dallas. What's Dallas going to do?
We'll say Dallas kind of seeing the kind of cut and blood. His eyes grow wide, knowing when a wound has a limb that needs to be amputated, and he's gonna take a swing at that critter as well.
All right, swinging the bone saw.
I'm not gonna make the obvious bone saw is ready joke, but we're all thinking it. Okay. Okay. Dallas with the bone saw is that's a strength. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's only gonna be a 7.
7 to hit. That is a miss.
Okay.
Would you like to burn a whole bunch of luck?
Can you explain to me like where the luck resource is and where that's kind of coming from?
Okay, so one of your stats, instead of charisma, there is luck.
Oh,
because your wisdom and your charisma are rolled into personality, and so luck is a finite resource. It eventually will run out, but yeah, and that's like a permanent state for the character unless something corrects it.
So it's a 1-for-1. You can spend a point of luck to increase a roll.
Okay. So it's kind of like a stat that you can burn like a resource. Then is what I'm hearing.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sure. Why not? Let's spend some luck for Dallas on this. I rolled a 7, so let's burn. Let's go ahead and burn 4 points of luck.
Perfect. You're so lucky you nailed it. Roll to wound.
Okay. That would be 3 points.
3 points. And were you going after the injured one?
Yeah, basically, yeah, kind of going after trying to cleave into that limb that got cut.
Yep. And so you see, you go at it with the bone saw with maniacal fervor, and the arm comes clean off, and the thing crumples to the ground. So let's go to Asia. What do you do?
All right. Are there, so do we have some more creatures coming at us?
Oh, there's seven more of them. So
great. I will approach the nearest, and I will take my short sword and stab it right between its two very large, unnatural eyes.
Very good.
Two to hit.
Okay. A 2 misses, and you probably don't have enough luck to burn. Also, Axes of Evil gave you a point of luck, Aaron. So take a point of luck back on your. So, Asia, do you have any other characters that are still present?
Yes, Trissid Binding Stitcher has been sort of keeping a distance from the action up to this point, a timid bookbinder. And she's going to back away from the centipedes and bump into the column with the skull and maggots, the one that did not take a hand earlier.
Okay.
And she will swing at that with her staff.
Okay, very good. So you swing your staff. We won't need to roll. You hit stone because it's just standing there. And it does not do anything. Actually, give me a D20 just to see if you roll a 1 and break your staff.
I did not.
Okay, very good. So you give the skull a really good whack, and it won't do it again.
Oh, good.
Asia, do you have another character?
Nope.
That's it. That's it. So we go to Ash.
Ruggles.
Ruggles.
Ruggles is going to confusedly back away from this total mayhem that's taking place. And I think just cower, because I'm -3 to do pretty much everything. But Zerg is going to crack open his lit lantern and attempt to throw it like a firebomb into the thickest part of these monsters.
That seems fair. Roll a D20, and you're going to modify by agility instead of strength.
Well, that's not a good stat for me.
So be it.
I got a 9, but I'm going to burn 5 points of luck to make it a 14.
Okay.
Nice.
This feels like a big play.
You love to see it.
And so the lantern lands, and I'm going to say the oil splashes onto 2 of them and ignites. Give me a. I know there's a stat for that, but give me a D4 for each of them.
I like it. All right. So the first one is a 1.
Okay.
The second one is also a 1.
All right. So you see their stinking, smelling clothes start to catch fire, and they start to burn, and they just start to cackle even louder.
Good, I made fire zombies. Excellent.
They do not seem that concerned in the moment.
Well, that was my big play, guys. Sorry.
Yep. And the smell is just disgusting.
How many different ways are you not helping right now, Ash?
As many as possible.
Very good.
I'm an anchor on this whole endeavor.
Very good. Ash, did you have anybody else?
No, Vanix left. Vanix went
yes,
goodbye. Yes. Vanix is the guy with the sword who is good at hitting things. Decided to leave immediately.
I just noticed
the centipedes.
I skipped Malev.
Oh no,
Malev, I'm sorry. I skipped.
Oh no, it's all right. Ain Raining Blows was hiding behind the Skull Diaz that got hit with the stick.
Okay.
And it startled him, but he was still in the position, sort of like crouched, using it as almost cover, getting ready, tongs in one hand, hammer in the other, getting ready to use the blacksmith style to bop some zombies. I would use the tongs to like try and grab spears and point them different directions, and then follow up with the hammer swing.
I was hoping you were going to use the tongs to like grab like a mouth to pull it closer so you could hit it in the head.
Close. I would. That's how I do it when they don't have spears.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So give me a D20 modified by strength.
You just got a point of luck, too, Malif.
Oh,
and you get a
I'm
point of luck.
I'm at 11 now.
You got an 11? Awesome.
No, I didn't get an 11. I'm at an 11, but I rolled a 2. So the staff smack right before the charging zombie threw him off. So what?
Very good. So you were granted a point of luck by Axes of Evil. So that would make it a 3. Well,
I have 10 or 11 total now.
Okay.
I could spend all of that to what? Make it
your goal is to get to 11. So how much would you have to spend to get to 11?
I would have to spend 9.
Do you want to spend 9?
My guy's lived through famine, so he's pretty lucky. So I think he will spend 9.
Okay. Very good. And you're only spending 8 because Axes of Evil gave you 1.
Roger.
So you managed to grab a javelin and pull it aside and swing your hammer, roll to wound.
Hammer, the old triangular dice. Hey, ooh, that's a big 4.
No, hold on a second. I checked the forecast, and I'm pretty sure the meteorologist said it was going to be raining blows this afternoon.
That's what I said before I came in. Hey.
Very good. And so what was your damage?
4, the big 4.
And did you go after one of the ones that has not been damaged, or one that was?
It was a fresh one that had not been damaged nor is on fire.
Okay, cool. So very good. And Malev, do you have another character?
I didn't. Zeris ran away, and the beggar also ran away.
Yes, they voluntarily ran away. And so that brings it to me. And so in this moment, one of them comes rushing forward, and where's my D5?
D5.
There's my D5. So the first one comes rushing forward and goes after Aaron.
Okay.
And it's specifically, how many characters do you have?
I have 2.
2. It is going to go after your second character.
So Dallas. Okay.
Yeah, Dallas. So one of these things comes rushing forward and starts stabbing indiscriminately, cackling insanely. And it does an 8 hit.
Oh, thank heavens. No, that's not enough.
Okay, so the next one goes after Aaron again.
Oh God!
And this time it also goes that they're teaming up on Dallas.
Listen, he's amputated limbs before. He was chased out of a town. He knows how this goes. People don't like limb amputations.
They're trying to pile on you, stabbing indiscriminately, probably because you look weak. But they have failed. The third one goes after Asia.
Yeah.
And you have 2 characters?
I do.
And so who's your second character?
Guru.
Guru the mouth. My dice are cursed. We go for character number one of Jay's.
Yeah.
Jay, who's your first character?
That's Ailes Crowgrounder.
All right. And so it looks at Ailes for a second like it's about to stab, and then looks over at Aaron. Once again, this one decides to pile on to Dallas.
Oh my gosh!
And this one connects with a big 19.
Oh Lord,
and
yeah,
then
that's
the
enough.
19.
That'll do her.
Yep, and so you get stabbed for 4 points of damage. Are you still standing?
Oh no, Dallas has cut his last limb. That is the grisly end. Four is much higher than 2.
Real quick, Malev, you get an additional point of luck to your character that burned all that luck. And Aaron, you just got one for a pun.
Hey yo. He delivered that line right before he was stabbed. It's raining blood.
So that being said, all right, and so there's 3 more. So I'm just gonna roll quick. 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, one is going after one of Ash's characters and attacks and hits. You see something happening. And then the second one goes after Jay.
Yep.
And goes after your second character.
That's Vandus.
And it misses. And then the third one goes after Aaron again.
Oh man, this has been a rough encounter.
And it goes after the Sawbones again. But I'm
He's
guessing
already down.
Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot he is dead.
Just jabbed him on the ground.
Yep.
Ow.
He
Stabbing
looked up
into
for
the
a
dead
moment
guy.
and said, "I'm okay," and then was immediately stabbed.
This just turned into a Saw movie now, Nick.
So all I will say is that Dallas had a note called "Fortunate Date." This was not a fortunate date for
No, he was gonna go on a fortunate date at some point in the future.
All right, very good. So we are going to go back to the top of the initiative.
Hello.
We got Jay waving.
Wait, sorry. So who did I
If
miss?
I go last, I still get to go, don't
Oh,
I?
yeah. Sorry, I got distracted.
In theory.
Jay, do your
All right.
thing.
So there's a ton of them standing over where Dallas is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Vandus is going to step into that spot. So Vandus, the blinding light.
Mhm.
I'm assuming these creatures with no eyelids can't close their eyes. So I am going to cast my 0 level version of blinding light into the middle of them. I'm just going to step into the middle of them and set off a thing of flash powder right in their faces.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
So give me a
Smart.
D20.
For sure. Any modifiers or just roll?
Yeah, modify by whatever you think is right. Whatever you tell me.
It feels like an intelligence-based attack, and that's going to
Okay, cool.
still be a 0, but that's okay. So I rolled an 11.
An 11. An 11 is going to succeed. Give me a D3.
D3 for sure. 2.
2. So 2 of them are blinded. one that's injured and one that is not.
Excellent.
So they start flailing about. Also,
Okay.
while you're away, Ash, one of them stabbed at you. You have
Ruggles or at Zerg?
Stabbed at Zerg.
Oh, no.
And does a 9 hit?
It does not.
Okay, so that was a miss. Okay, so Jay, back to you.
Yeah, so Ailes will shoot another one in that group, hopefully one that's not blinded, with his short bow.
Okay, cool.
That is a 15.
Okay, that's a hit.
Okay. And whoa, that's 6 points of damage.
All right. And were you going after a wounded one or an unwounded one?
I think the only wounded one was blinded. I was trying to shoot one of the ones that's not blinded.
Okay, cool. And describe its death throws.
It should be like quick, sudden, and fair, like just basically a quick arrow right between the eyes, and it just drops. Like no gory violence, it just stopped being there.
Okay, very good. And so
and then I've still got Ends, yeah. So Ends will take a swing at one in that same group with her axe. And that is a 14.
Okay. And a 14 hits. Roll to wound.
9 damage.
Yeah, that's a kill. Who'd you go after?
Oh.
So again, that would be one of the ones that wasn't blinded. So I'm assuming that's one of the ones that was fresh.
Okay, cool. Very good.
And it'll just be the Darth Maul chop right through the center.
Okay, sounds good. And so we go back up to Aaron. What are you doing?
Okay. Dallas, right beside Akron, got dog piled and just stabbed aplenty, and then it was this explosion of lights. So how many are standing right now, Nick?
Currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 of them are blinded and 2 of them are on fire.
Oh my lord. Okay.
We've exacerbated all of our problems.
Well, what Akron would kind of do is can he do kind of like can he do like a strike and then like back foot back to kind of like feint out to kind of like withdraw from the dog pile?
As far as I'm concerned, absolutely.
Okay. One of the blinded ones kind of by him, he will take an opportunity kind of like stab at, and then kind of a pirouette and flip, allowing his scarf to elegantly trace the wind behind him.
Okay, so give me a D20 and a D3 at the same time.
Okay. Okay, the D3 is going to be a 3.
Okay.
And the D20 is, and this is with strength, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, that would be an 11.
Okay, so I am going to add the 3 as well, so that gives you a 14. It also means that your crazy maneuver you pull off flawlessly.
Awesome.
So let's talk about your attack. So you stabbed with the dagger, correct?
One of the blinded ones, correct.
Yes. Okay, so give me a D4.
So that's just going to be 1 point of damage.
Okay, 1 point of damage, but it was one of the 2 blinded ones. Did you go after the injured blinded one or the fully intact blinded one?
If they're both close enough to strike, Akron is no fool. An opportunity attack is best against someone already wounded. So you probably strike the one that's already hurt.
All right, so you perform a quick slashing maneuver and you do your back flip away. And as you land like Black Widow, you notice that the no-lid that you slashed is no longer standing and blood is just pouring out of its throat. You are impressed with yourself.
That is very on brand for Akron. That's very on brand. I agree with this.
All right.
Dang, I'm good.
Aaron, do you have another character?
Dallas is dead and Boulder is tending to the cart. So that'll be it for me.
Okay, cool. And so Malev, what are you doing?
Raining Blows wishes to follow up the strike on the previously injured no lid.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the tongs to reach for its throat, pushing it back while I attempt to rain down
So
the hammer.
in this case, one of the previously injureds that's still standing is on fire. So you are like a expert barbecuer.
Well, see,
with the tongs.
The forge is my home. The heat.
That's right.
Very good. So yeah, give me a D20.
I will give this.
And I give me a D3 with it as well.
The D3 is 1 and 15 is the D20.
Okay, so you manage to hit. Your full maneuver doesn't get pulled off, but you manage to hit with the hammer. Roll to wound. And it's your damage plus your strength modifier.
2.
All right, so you start just pummeling into this burning no-lid, raining blows as the name implies, and you see it jar from side to side as each blow rains upon it, but it's still coming at you. Do you have another character?
I do not.
Okay, and so we go to Asia. What are you doing?
All right, Garou sees the remaining blinded zombie and wishes to grapple it and guide it over to the skull with Maggot's mouth, and if possible, shove its head into the mouth.
All right,
Awesome.
I'm for it. Give me a D20 modified by strength to grapple.
15.
I rolled a 9, so that's a success. So you've got this creature grappled, and so you try to shove its head in the open mouth of the skull spilling maggots.
Yeah.
Give me another D20.
Uh-huh.
And I just want a 10 or better.
That is a 10.
A 10. All right. And so you successfully push this thing's head into the thing. You hear cracking as you force it into this open stone orifice. And then you smell the blood as the thing shoots through it, causing damage. So, and this one, was it one of the burning ones, or was it one of the uninjured ones?
Uninjured.
Uninjured. So, give me a D3. D6 and have it.
Oh, okay. 1/2.
So 1. Okay, very good. And so it is still flailing about. You're like holding it like you're giving it a swirly, and it's
just legs are flailing.
Are flailing about.
Goodness.
But it is still coming at you.
I love that Asia is basically just Ash from Evil Dead now.
Yeah,
that's
got
awesome.
so Army of Darkness. The Sam Raimi is strong right now.
Asia, do you have any other characters? You don't, correct?
I do. Tristan,
do.
Binding Stitcher.
Binding Stitcher, yes. What is the Binding Stitcher going to do?
Well, Binding Stitcher is going to gather up all of her courage and run at, I guess, an on-fire zombie and strike it with a staff.
Okay. Give me a D20 and modify by strength.
6.
6. That is not a hit. You do have some luck that was thrown at you before. So you could make that a 7. Do you have luck to burn? Would you like to burn some luck?
I do. I will burn 3 luck. Wait, how many? Wait. Yeah.
Also, Axis of Evil says blood for the audience.
Yeah, adding 3 would give 11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
That's golden.
Right.
Roll to wound.
All right, that is.
And are you going after one of the burning ones or the swirly one?
A burning one.
Okay.
That is 8.
8. 8 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what's the weapon you're hitting with?
It's a staff.
So describe this blow. It is a killing blow.
Oh man. Right, bopped right on the top of the head.
All right, very good.
In mock style.
Very good. And so yes, you have killed this thing outright. And I say killed. You guys keep saying zombies. They are not zombies, but they are very, very corrupted. And so Asia and then Ash. Where are you at?
I think that Ruggles is just going to add his 126 pounds to the back of the zombie currently being swirlied.
Okay.
Just pressing down, sort of, pillow at the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest style.
Okay, very good.
There you go, Chief.
we're gonna chief that guy. His broken tooth keeping him from doing much else.
Okay.
And continue to kind of just feed him into the wood chipper like he's Steve Buscemi.
All right, very good. So give me a D20 and modify by strength.
That's a 17.
Yes.
And an unarmed attack does D3, so D3 modified by strength.
That would be 3 down to 2 because I'm -1.
Okay. Swirly is still in it to win it. Flailing about now under the weight of a dog and a very, very aggressive person. So what about
Zerg? How many zombies are left? We just had a flaming zombie explode, and then
there's one that's on fire, and then there's the one that is.
Well, I guess Zerg
The one
caused
that's on
the fire.
fire, I'm
Zerg should
holding,
probably deal with the fire. So, and there's no blinded one still alive. No.
Nope, the blind ones are dead.
Right. Well, then mustering what's left of his courage and accepting responsibility for this catastrophe, Zerg will take a swing at the last flaming lidless.
All right.
With his pickaxe. That's a 19.
19 hits. Roll to wound.
So we do D4 damage plus my strength.
Yep.
It's a 5.
5.
Big
And then I want you to roll me an additional D4 because it's still on fire.
5 plus 2 more. So 7.
7. So in a shower of blood and flame, this one's life gutters out. And so there is just the one that is face first into the skull. That leaves us with, that's them.
Kick it.
They get to retaliate.
Great.
And so they need a D20. They need to break free of Asia's character's grasp. Asia, roll me a D20 modified by your strength, and I rolled a 17.
I rolled a 10.
All right. And so it manages to break free from all of its attackers, and it is flailing wildly. And it turns to run back into the entrance. And then we go to Jay.
Yeah. So Ailes will try, as soon as it turns back toward the entrance, Ailes will try and knock it down with an arrow. This will be with the short bow. Hey, 19.
Okay.
And that will be 5 points of damage.
All right. And you successfully terminate the last one as it is running back in, and you see its body just collapse into the mist with its legs hanging out. And in that moment, something grabs it by the hands and pulls it through, and we're going to end for tonight.
Oh, good job, everybody.
What happened to the centipedes?
I feel let down that my one character that didn't die, he just booked.
If you would like to return to finish this adventure, we can do this again in 2 weeks or a month. I'm not sure what Elena's schedule would allow or what your own schedules would allow, but we can do this as a part 2 in order to finish the full adventure another night.
Sweet.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. That was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you had a great time. To the audience, I hope you had a great time. Thank you for throwing luck. I hope I didn't do you a disservice. It was hard to keep up with the luck that was being thrown. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful night, and hopefully we will see you all again soon. Thank you to our producer, Elena, and
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you so
Thanks, everybody.
much. This is
Good
great.
job, team. We made it to the precipice of the adventures.
All right, we're ready to start.
Let's do it.
all
I just curious. One quick question:
Sure.
How the centipedes? How big were they on a scale of balled up socks?
Of sock sausage. I was
Sock,
thinking the
sock,
same
sock.
thing.
No, on the sausage scale of size.
So kind of like they're like a knee high,
Okay.
stretched out.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Like hockey sock style. We're talking like full on over pads hockey socks. Got it.
I'm glad that we clarified that very important issue.
Oh, the audience wanted to know.
Yeah,
really.
no,
This is
burning
this is
question.
the end
Gotta
of
do it for
Lost,
people.
basically, as far
Yeah.
as they're concerned.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Any other essential questions?
If our characters ran away at this junction, are they out of the adventure?
No.
Okay, great, because
but,
I still have some begging to do.
You perhaps still have some begging to do. Yes. Just make a note on your sheet that you ran, so that I can incorporate that the next time.
Sweet.
All right.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
It was a
guys.
wonderful session. You guys have a great night. And Ash, I know it's late. Sleep well.
Thanks again,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Like, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.